Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Data Science with Ease. Today, we're diving into some super cool topics: machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing, or NLP for short. These are the technologies behind many of the smart tools we use every day, like voice assistants, recommendation systems, and even self-driving cars. Let's get started. First, let's talk about machine learning. Imagine you have a magical toy robot that can learn new tricks if you teach it. Machine learning is like teaching this robot how to do things by showing it lots of examples. It's a way for computers to learn from data and improve over time without being explicitly programmed. In machine learning, we have a few key concepts. The first one is supervised learning. This is like having a teacher. You give the robot lots of labeled examples, like pictures of cats and dogs, and it learns to tell them apart. It's called supervised because you're guiding the learning process with labeled data. For instance, if you want the computer to recognize apples and oranges, you show it many pictures of apples and oranges with labels, and it learns the differences. Then we have unsupervised learning. Here, the robot tries to figure things out on its own. It looks for patterns in data without any labels. Think of it like exploring a new place and discovering things by yourself. For example, if you give the robot a bunch of fruit pictures without labels, it might group them into clusters based on similarities, such as size or color, without knowing what each fruit is called. And there's reinforcement learning, which is like a game. The robot gets rewards or points for making the right decisions, helping it learn to perform tasks better over time. It's used in situations where a sequence of decisions leads to a goal, like training a dog to fetch. For example, in video games or robotics, the robot learns to navigate through a maze by receiving rewards for reaching the end and penalties for hitting walls. Now, let's move on to deep learning, which is actually a special kind of machine learning. Imagine your brain is made up of lots of tiny things called neurons that help you think and learn. Deep learning uses artificial neural networks that mimic this structure. These neural networks are made up of layers of neurons. Information passes through these layers, with each layer learning to detect different features. It's like building a super smart robot brain that can recognize complex patterns, like faces in photos or the sounds of words. For example, in image recognition, the first layer might detect basic shapes, the next layer might combine these shapes into objects like eyes and ears, and the final layer might recognize the entire face. Deep learning is behind many breakthroughs in AI, like self-driving cars, which use it to understand their surroundings and make driving decisions, and advanced image recognition systems that can identify objects and people in pictures with high accuracy. Finally, let's talk about natural language processing, or NLP. This is the technology that allows computers to understand, interpret, and respond to human language. NLP is what powers voice assistants like Siri and Alexa, enabling them to understand your commands and questions. It's also used in language translation apps that convert text from one language to another and chatbots that can have conversations with you. NLP involves several tasks, such as speech recognition, where the computer converts spoken language into text, and sentiment analysis, where it figures out if the text is happy, sad, angry, etc. Another key task is machine translation, where computers translate text from one language to another, like Google Translate. To make NLP work, we use a combination of machine learning and deep learning techniques. For instance, deep learning models called transformers are used to understand context and meaning in language, making them very powerful for tasks like translation and summarization. These models can read a sentence, understand the context, and generate a response that makes sense, just like how we have conversations. So, to recap, machine learning is about teaching computers with data. Deep learning takes this further with neural networks to recognize complex patterns, and NLP enables computers to understand and interact with human language. Thanks for joining me today on this quick tour of machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to your channel name, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. If you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, drop them in the comments below. See you next time.